It's that time of the year again, folks. We're back at the NBA Finals. My predictions at the preseason, when we were looking at what was going to happen, I was wrong on quite a few things. I was right on a few things as well. I was wrong on Rookie of the Year. I thought that Dylan Harper was going to win it. It's highly unlikely that they would have 3 Spurs Rookie of the Years in a row. But shout out to homeboy in Dallas. He did his thing. As well as the cat over there with the Hornets. Khan, he was pretty good as well. I thought he should have won it, but I wasn't mad at the Dallas rookie winning either. Cooper Flag, he's the real deal. Now, Dylan Harper, I'm bringing him up because he's going to be a key player in these finals. As we saw with the Western Conference Finals, that was a very good series. Victor Wembanyama had his coming out party. Pause. I'm just playing. But in all seriousness, he had his coming out party. He was serious. He was handling business. He made Chet Holmgren look like an absolute non-factor in the entire series. I mean, Chet Holmgren, shout out to the Thunder for even going 7 games because, quite frankly, the way he was playing, the Spurs should have handled it in about 5 or 6 max. Game 1, it was very clear from the beginning. They had no business handling. They had nothing they could do to actually stop Victor Wembanyama. The strategy that the Thunder implemented in Game 2 with Hartenstein, I mean, that's a desperate strategy. It can work if a player is, mentally pretty weak. Victor Wembanyama, he's not somebody who comes across that way. When you watch how he trained in the offseason, each of the offseasons that he's had, it seems like he's added a new component to his game. I think the time he spent with Akeem Olajuwon was very instrumental to his play this year. I also think that the way the Spurs used him was very good this year in terms of they did not overwork him. They tried to keep his body fresh. They limited his minutes. And you could say that on the flip side, a lot of the players need more minutes to get, accustomed to play. I think because of his height, stature, build, you really don't want him playing too often. You kind of want to keep him on ice, ready to go for the playoffs in terms of gearing him up for these high-intensity series. He's going to be strong enough to work out on his own mentally. He's not going to be somebody you have to worry about packing on pounds or coming in weak with his cardio. So I think that was actually a really good strategy this year to manage his injuries and keep him fresh for the playoffs. Now the Spurs, I like them to actually take this series over the Knicks. The Knicks, I predicted them to make the Eastern Conference Finals and be the people that actually come out of the East. I did not think the Celtics were going to do it this year. I was impressed at the fact that Jaylen Brown could handle himself and lead them to the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to have the team chemistry or the firepower to match up with some of the stronger teams in the East like the Cavs or the Knicks in the playoffs. I didn't expect them getting eliminated by the Sixers. That's a whole nother story. But we got to give credit where credit is due. The Knicks handled business this year. That's one thing I did get right in the preseason predictions. Now, when it comes to the Spurs, I did predict they would potentially make the Western Conference Finals as a ceiling. I did not think they were going to get past the Thunder. I think a few things went right for them. Victor, he really emerged as a top player in the league. I think Stephon Castle, he's a really good player. He's on his way. The turnovers have to stop. He got better with that as the series waned on, but definitely he cannot afford to have 10 turnover games, or not even 10. It's these 5 turnover games. That can't happen in the finals against a team that's hungry and is going to capitalize on your mistakes. Shout out to De'Aaron Fox in terms of he's just a good veteran presence on the team. Even though he didn't have he had a few games in the last series that weren't so hot. Composure was there, showing these guys, hey, this is how you be a pro. This is how you bounce back. I think the Spurs, they have the firepower on the perimeter to handle business in terms of throwing different bodies at Jalen Brunson. I don't think they're going to use any one player to really slow him down. I think they're just going to switch quarters and just say, okay, you go give him hell for about 10 minutes, 8 minutes. We'll give him hell. They're going to use that cat off the bench, homeboy with the from the dunk contest, Carter Bryant. They're going to use him. Probably throw him at him quite a bit in the second quarter. I think in the first quarter, Stephon Castle is going to handle business, and they're going to switch off Dylan Harper, Carter Bryant. They may throw De'Aaron Fox at him, just a little bit, but I would say they're probably going to spend 50, 60% of the time with Castle or Bryant on him. They're going to really split the minutes with him on Jalen Brunson, making his life hell. For Jalen Brunson, the key for him this series, in order to actually make a huge impact, he cannot spend a lot of time with the ball in his hands. We saw last year when the Pacers played him, they forced him into a lot of bad looks, forcing him into the corner, making him have to pick up his dribble. They would send a second defender right before he does a spin move or he does his post up. And I mean, they were swiping at cookies, making life hell in terms of making him pass really poor, making him make poor decisions with his passes out of a pickup dribble. So shout out to the Pacers last year for using that strategy. I don't think it's going to work as much this year, but definitely Mike Brown has them playing a lot more freely on the offensive side of the ball. The ball's moving a lot more. The Knicks, the key player for them is Karl Anthony Towns. He's the swing player, the swing vote, if you will, on how this series is going to go. If the Karl Anthony Towns that we thought was going to come out of Kentucky shows up this final series, the Knicks have a shot to take this thing in 6 or 7. I don't predict that's going to happen. Karl Anthony Towns has the skills to pay the bills in terms of he's got a decent body for a center / power forward. He can bang down low. I think he's a better rebounder than Wemby, but Karl Anthony Towns is, in my opinion, mentally softer than Wembanyama, and we saw them a little bit in that NBA Cup. That Cup game, anybody who's using that as a real barometer as to how this series is going to go, it's not a good barometer because Wembanyama, he's not going to play 24 minutes like how he did in that NBA Cup. In the fourth quarter, when I watched that game months back, homeboy wasn't even in the fourth quarter. Okay, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get Luke Cornett for the entire game in the NBA Finals. Luke Cornett is a decent player. He's not Victor Wembanyama. It's just that simple. So I think that Karl Anthony Towns, he's going to have to hit his shots on the outside, but he's also going to have to learn from Chet. You cannot be scared to attack Victor Wembanyama. That is a player you cannot let him rest on both sides of the ball. You have to have him working when it comes to offense. You need him working for his points. Cannot be easy. On defense, he gets to rest because what he'll do is he'll play free safety. Proverbially, he'll play free safety and basically pick off everything at the rim. Now, that actually can work for the Knicks if they know how to swing the ball and wait for him. The Thunder were starting to do that when people were starting to double Shea, and when he was driving to the rim, he would just wait for Victor to come, kick it off to Chet, kick it off to somebody else, and they would try to capitalize off of that. They know the help is going to come. The Spurs weren't playing straight up. They were making sure that they were always funnel down to Wemby, let him clean it up. I think the Spurs are going to handle this in 5, but, keyword is but, the Spurs are a very young team. I think they handled business versus the Thunder. The Thunder were a little bit hobbled, but they did what they were supposed to do because San Antonio, I make no excuses for the Thunder. The Thunder should have handled business based on their championship pedigree. They won it last year. And the reason the Thunder can't say anything is because they beat the Pacers when my man over there, Halliburton, when he tore his when he tore his Achilles in the finals, Game 7, he was lighting, excuse my French, he was lighting their asses up. Okay, Game 7, he scored like 6 or 9 points straight from deep. He was knocking them down. Then I remember this man he did a pump fake, and then he planted with his, I think it was his right foot, planted, thing tore immediately. That was the Thunder's saving grace in Game 7 because, quite frankly, I did not like what I saw from the Thunder in last year's finals. I thought they looked better at the beginning of the season this year, like they had some championship swagger. But as we saw, they had no answer for San Antonio. I think if the OKC Thunder played anybody else, even if they were hurt, they can handle business. But against San Antonio, Wemby, he's a different animal. Wemby, he trains in the summer and works on his weaknesses. Mentally, I can tell that after every game, this man is running through the entire sequence in his head on every play that he had, every play they could have won that they lost. He's running through it in his head. That's what makes the greats great. They microanalyze everything, or they hyperanalyze everything. It's just micro movements. Every little thing becomes a macro problem. If they see it, they got to address it. I think his growth in the T-Wolves series was huge in terms of keeping his composure. When the Thunder tried to throw a whole bunch of bodies at him, play really physically, he didn't let that bother him. There were a few games in the series where he didn't play as well as he did in Game 1. Game 1 was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. And we're not going to be riding nobody's meat. We're not on that type of time. But Victor Wembanyama, he has the potential to become one of those top 10 players of all time. Definitely. It's not a question of if he can. It's just a matter of, if his body can hold up. That's the only thing I'm concerned about with him. I think he's going to add components to his game every year. Unlike a lot of players that, settle for outside shots, he works to get inside and he finishes at the rim very well. The only component to his game that I don't like is his rebounding. For a big man, I think he should grab boards a little bit better than he does. But honestly, the man is like 22 or 23. He might even be 21. This man is like the second or third best player at worst in the world. You can make a strong argument that he's the best player in the world. It's either him, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who respectfully, should be number one. He won the MVP twice. He's got a championship ring. We got to see Vic, go ahead and capitalize on everything. The Thunder were hurt, and quite frankly, let's be honest, Chet, that man was a no-show. You can find him on the back of a milk box. Absolutely missing. They're missing Jalen, what's his name? Jalen Williams as well. But the Thunder, the reason they don't get an excuse for losing is because they also won against a team that was injured as well. That's how basketball works. But I think that the Spurs, they are loaded. On the perimeter, they are loaded. And as long as Victor Wembanyama is healthy, they've got championship players like Harrison Barnes. They got pros like De'Aaron Fox on their team. They got cats like Dylan Harper. He's a rookie. He don't play like a rookie. Clearly his dad has, coached him a lot throughout the years. Got very high composure. He gets to the rim at will, and he can't even shoot. The man cannot even shoot, and he gets to the rim at will. Stephon Castle is a dog, okay? Caruso is used to out-dogging players because Alex Caruso is a dog himself, all right? He's one of the major reasons they won last year, and one of the major reasons I believe the Lakers won as well. That man's a dog. But Stephon Castle, that man is no punk. That man, was on the Connecticut squad with Hurley and those guys. Okay, this Spurs team is loaded. They got Pop up there. He's basically in his Pat Riley mode right now where he's just being a sage, passing down wisdom. The Spurs got guys like Tim Duncan, David Robinson, chatting in their ear, giving them, coaching them up. I just don't think the Knicks have the firepower to match up with the Spurs. OG Anunoby, he's a dog. I think that if you put him on Wemby for a few minutes, every quarter, you can give him some hell. Give him some trouble just in terms of a lower center of gravity. Just box him out as much as possible. Make him work on the block. As well as Cat. Cat's got to step it up. His lateral quickness is poor. He's got to step it up versus Wemby. You cannot have a no-show. Mitchell Robinson is going to be a great body to throw at Wemby as well. However, Mitchell Robinson on offense, I don't want to say useless, but very, very little danger with him on offense. He's not going to do anything. Usually if he towers over people, he can have putbacks, grabbing rebounds. I don't know how many putbacks he's going to have against Wemby. He'll probably grab a lot of rebounds. That's a valuable piece for him. The Knicks are going to need all hands on deck, and this is going to be an interesting series. I think it's going to end in 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 6 or even 7 because the Spurs being so young. I'm calling Spurs in 5. It's probably going to be a replay of the 1999 finals. The Spurs won that in 5 with Tim Duncan versus the Knicks. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting series. As you always know, don't be mad at me, be mad at yourself. But God bless. It's going to be fun. We're going to have the aftermath after every game, either the night of or the day after. All right. Peace.